What's up, everybody? It's Lamar here, coming back to you with another great episode on the Barber Block podcast. First of all, I want to say thank you for watching season 1. Man, y'all really showed up for us. But if you could just do a big favor for us and just go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so that you can be alerted of when we drop these new episodes. So go ahead right now, hit that subscribe button. Thank you very much. So welcome back to another episode of the Barber Block podcast. This is episode 8, season 2. Thank y'all for rocking with us, man. Much appreciated. And today, our whole goal is really just to share, to inspire, to educate the barbering community. We got real barbers, real people, and real talk here on the show. So we're just going to have a conversation with our guest this morning. And so I want you all to just help me welcome in our guest. His name is Drakkar Wright.
Man, thank y'all for having me. I'm excited. Number 8 is my favorite number, so I'm excited to be on episode 8, man. It's all divine, man. So let me give y'all flowers, man. Brother Lamar, Q, that's behind the screen. You might not see him, but thank y'all for having me. I'm super excited to tell my story. And hopefully I can impact and help another along the way, man, because that's the key, is to pay it forward. So
yes, sir. That's what it's all about, and that's what we're here to do. So, man, let's just go ahead and jump right into it and get this party rolling. So, kind of just share with us, what were you doing before you became a barber?
So it's kind of funny because I never knew I was going to be a barber. It kind of fell into my hands, and I kind of took that opportunity. But I wasn't like, a lot of barbers coming up where they started in the garage, they started in high school. Mm-hmm. Man, that wasn't me. I actually was a knucklehead, man. I was that kid that your mom didn't want you to hang around at first. So I was a knucklehead, man. I really didn't have no guidance or role model during the time. So I dropped out of high school in 9th grade. And what they have is a job corps for kids that are like 16 to 24.
Where are you from? Tell us where you're from.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm from the Philadelphia. Man, born and raised in the playground where I spent most of my days. Yeah, man, just growing up in that environment, man, just really becoming a product of my environment, man. So we're going to get into that. But
yes, sir.
The kind of fast forward what I was saying with Job Corps. I went to Job Corps to be a carpenter. And during the time, I didn't have my high school diploma. So I got my high school diploma, and I actually had a trade. I left out there being a certified carpenter. So this was during the 2006, 2008 era when, they had what it was a recession at the time. Right. Nobody was building at the time. I was trying to get into the union from Job Corps, but nobody was hiring carpenters at the time. Right. So I ended up getting in trouble, getting into a fight in Job Corps, and if you get into a fight, they kick you out. So I got kicked out, but they actually gave me like $1,400 for graduating, right? I just didn't have a job, so I go back to my neighborhood, my old neighborhood, hanging around the same people, doing the same things, and man, at that time, I didn't have the job, so I fell into the streets. That was my decision. That was like that pivotal moment of me really like diving into that street culture and being, just like that knucklehead that I was saying. So with that $1,400, I bought me a gun and like an 8-ball at the time. And fast forward, man, I'm running around for about a year. I'm like 17 at the time. So I'm running around, trapping, selling drugs, living that life. And one day I hear, search warrant, get on the ground. Now, mind you, I was still young, so I was living at my mom's house at the time.
So this was all going down at mom's house.
This is all going down at mom's house, man. In mom's house, so they locked down the school. My mom lives near a school. Okay. In my neighborhood, they locked the school down. All this for me, man. Little old me. I was just trying to be a carpenter a year ago. So, search warrant. They locked me. They locked my mom up. They locked my sisters up, and then they put us on the front page of the newspaper. So not only did they, tear the house up, but now it's public. So. Right. you know, that hurt a lot, man. When my mom lost her job because of that. So my sister lost her job. We lost Section 8 at the time, man. I felt horrible, man.
Yeah. Well, what was going through your mind? You know, you said you felt horrible, but what other thoughts were you having at that time when you know all of this is because of a decision that you made?
So to be honest, man, at that time I was so gone. I was taking Xannies at the time, man, and I really Xanny. If you ever take a Xanny, I do not advise it, but it makes you numb to life. You know what I mean? You don't feel. So I really didn't feel at that time, man. Like when they ran in my house, my mom would tell you that I was laughing when they had me all in handcuffs, and then they put my mom in the cell right in front of me, like me and you are, and try to get me to break. Like my mom on the gate crying, and I'm like, Mom, I'm gonna get you out of here, I promise. So I kind of took the case for everything. Like, yo, everything y'all find in the house is mine. Just let my mom and my sister go. So they did the next day. I ended up getting sentenced 5 to 10 years. So I was locked up from 19 to 24. So that time frame, 19 to 24, I was locked up from 2010 to 2015. And in that time, that's when I became a barber. So to answer your question, I got my barber license. I started cutting hair in while I was away for them 5 years.
And where were you at the time? Were you in prison in Philadelphia? Or
yeah, I was still in Philadelphia at the time. Yep, still in Philadelphia prison. SCI Camp Hill to be exact.
Yeah. And so while you were in there, how did that whole scenario play out when you know, how did you do your first cut, or what was it that triggered you to, you know, even think about barbering as a possibility?
So I'm 19 years old when I'm going into this environment. Now, mind you, you are who you surround yourself with. So the mindset that I went in with, I was still hanging around the knuckleheads. You know, these kids, they were locked up since they were 16 with life sentences. Like, so I'm hanging around kids that are 18, 19 up there, 20 to 40 years. You know, they got more time than they've been on this earth. Like,
right.
Like these are the people that I was hanging around with and the mindset that I was in when I first got locked up. And, you know, my lady started leaving me at the time. You know, time goes by, you out of sight, you're out of mind. And I really asked myself, man, like, is this what I want? Is this what I want for the rest of my life? Like, I just kept hearing people say, you'll be back, you coming back. I started seeing people that were leaving and come right back a week later. I'm like, damn, like I'm in a cycle. And it was really like a awakening that I had. And I was like, yo, this can't be it, man. So I'm in the hole. I'm in the RHU, which they call is the hole for 90 days for getting into a fight. And I got a letter in the mail, and my mom was like, yo, I'm blind, I can't come see you. So it was that moment right there when I was like, question life, man. And I'm like, yo, what the hell? Like, I don't even want to be here no more, right? And I snap out of it. So as soon as I get out of the hole from the 90 days, I go right to my counselor, Miss Pauline. And I'm like, Miss Pauline, like, I got to get off of this block. I want to get into the barber program, because they had a barber program at the jail that I was at. And she took a liking to me, man. Thank God for Miss Pauline, the best counselor I could have asked for at the time, man. She was like my mom, to be honest with you. And she bumped me all the way up to get into the barber program, because, you know, the barber program in jail is like 10 years long. Like, everybody wants to be a barber, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I actually get in there I get in there about 3 years in, and this was around 2014. And then I came home. I got my barber license 30 days before I came home in 2015. So, yeah, that was kind of like my story, man.
Yeah.
My first haircut, thank God I was in jail. But my first haircut, they used to send all certain areas of the blocks in jail, and I was just giving them one against the grain. Thank God I didn't have burst fades at the time. Like, you really couldn't get too many fades. So, you know, 1.5 and then a shape up, which I just kept doing consistently until I kind of got more comfortable with the clippers. And yeah, man.
So while you were in there, what were the tools that they actually gave you? Because I'm sure there were some limitations as to what you actually could do.
So you have the 76s. You have the big, what are they? The 76 Osters, I think.
The Oster,
And they give you a Masters. No guard. You don't get the purple guards. You got this. With the 76s, they give you a OA. They give you a OA, a 1A, and 1.5, and then whatever you do, that was like, and then you get some trimmers. So yeah, you get a pair of Andy's T outline.
So no razor blades, no straight razors.
No razors until the Barber board comes. So when you're taking your test, you have to pull the razor out. So
okay.
Yeah, we was practicing the 14 strokes. You had to do that to be a barber. But we was practicing just without the razor. You know what I mean? And then when he pulled the razor out, there's like a cord that they hold. So you ain't going far with it. You're not going far with the razor, man.
Yeah, I always wonder how that works within the prison, because actually, as the Barber Supply Company, we actually sell to a couple of the prisons here in Arizona. Wow. And so they place their orders, and I always look at what they're ordering, and a lot of times it's the same thing every time. So barber jacket, the clippers, disinfectant, but never any razor blades.
Never razors. Yeah, everything but a razor. Right. You learn. Yeah. Man. So definitely but we was learning the 14 strokes of lather, everything that came with it, but a razor. Yeah.
So after you attain your license, so you say you got it 30 days before you were released. At that time when you received your license, did you know you were being released in 30 days, or did you already know your time frame of getting out?
Yeah, so they give you what they call as a green sheet, and they give it to you about 4 months before. So it's not promised. That green sheet isn't promised on that date. You get what I'm saying? So I got my green sheet. That's like 4 months before. So I was telling my counselor, I said, listen, if I don't pass this barber board, I don't want to go home right away. Like I was saying, I didn't want to go home because I knew that that's what I dedicated my last year and a half to, is barbering. I actually became good at it. You know, it was like a gift that God gave me, was barbering. And man, I just knew that that's what I wanted to do. I set up my home plan to my goddad. Shout out to Mark Little. He had a barbershop in the area, and he definitely put me under the wing when I first came home. So I was working in his barbershop. It was a 2-man type barbershop, man, but he got it done, and he gave me the game, man. That was like one of the pivotal moments of me, like, you know, because when you first come home, you don't have any money. Right. You know, I had $1,200 that I saved up. Now, the people that are complaining about prices, try cutting hair for 19 cents an hour. You know what I mean? It could always be worse. So it's perspective. You know what I mean? It's perspective.
So, so while you were in doing haircuts, you actually did get some compensation. Was there any other kind of someone else had told me that they actually bartered, you know, for commissary items and things like that. So yes, was that happening for you as well?
Absolutely, man. It was a different than currency, than money. So you would get a soup where they had summer sausages, man, envelopes. Everything counts is the money in there. So, but yeah, that's how I was getting money. So, and then I eventually got so there's certain blocks in the jail. And I actually had my own block that I used to go to, and they had like a 1-man station. So it was like a barbershop, but it was just me. And then I had to cut certain pods on that block. So I used to come home. I used to come back to my block and have all these cigarettes on me, kite, tuna, and hopefully the COs didn't pat me down, because they would take it all from me. So. Yeah, man, that's how I stayed afloat, man. Yeah, barbering, you have to find the hustle in there, or you're gonna get left, man.
Yeah, and you mentioned that you know, going back to you knew you were being released, or the possibility, didn't know exactly if that date was going to change. You got your license 30 days before, but you had mentioned you said to your counselor that, you know, hey, if I don't pass, I need to stay in a little bit longer.
Absolutely.
Now, tell me about that, because that just blows my mind. Why would you want to stay in there a little bit longer and not maybe take the test on the outside or pass or find another route once you got out?
Okay, so when at the time that was the end of my my sentencing, so I was already comfortable. I was in there for 60 months. That's 5 years. I was in there. I wasn't running home to nobody, no girl. I didn't have at the time. I didn't really have anything established already. I was more established in that side of the world than in the real world. So I was like, it wouldn't hurt me to do 6 more months or 4 more months, whatever I had to do to get that barber license, because I knew that's how I wanted to make my money. So man, I would say I was just comfortable. I was comfortable. I wasn't in a rush. I wasn't in a rush to come home because I knew what I was coming home to.
So when you get out and you said your godfather had a place for you, he took you under his wing.
Yes.
And how was that adjustment going from barbering on the inside versus the outside? What was that adjustment like?
So at the time, man, mind you, I had 3 kids already too. So I was coming home to 3 children, and 2 kids' moms at the time. So I was like really adjusting, trying to spend time with family. But you can't help anybody if you can't help yourself. And it takes time. It takes time when you're transitioning from somewhere you've been for 5 years to the real world. And I get it. That transition is super hard. Like, I don't know what is harder when they sentence you or when they release you, because you gotta have a plan. And that's why I stress, man, without a plan, a man without a vision. That's why my Instagram is visionaire, because I had the vision even when it wasn't there at the time. And you have to be able to vision where you want to be at, and then take the proper steps to get there. Because without that, man, you're just lost. You're like a bobber in the ocean, man. But nowhere to go, no direction. Absolutely.
No direction. All right, so you making that adjustment, and now you're kind of starting over, right? Coming out, you had some guidance. You had 3 kids. So what was that like, trying to just get it going? Okay, was it a lot of walk-ins in the shop you were in, or how did people feel, adjusting to you?
Yes.
And possibly even knowing your background?
Yeah, so not at all, man. The adjustment was discouraging at first, man, to be honest with you. I was out there. I really didn't have money. I didn't understand or know what Staples was. Go get some business cards. I really handwritten out my name, Jakar Wright, phone number, new barber. And I was out front of like what they would have as a Fry's, but it's a Giant out there, or I was out front of the grocery store and handing out my business cards. Hey, I'm a new barber in town. I cut hair on 13th and wherever, and come check me out. Come give me a try. First haircut free, $5 haircuts. Man, I was just hungry. I was dedicated. Like, you can't cheat the grind, man. So a lot of barbers think that when I come home, because they see their barber that they grew up with and that's already established, they think that they're going to be barbers and make money right away. It's not like that. You got to build. You got to go hand in hand. You got to go door to door. You got to network. So barbering is a great networking business, but you have to be willing to put that work in.
So standing out in front of the grocery store, you're handing out business cards that are handwritten, and then at what point did people start giving you a chance? Did they start coming in immediately, or how long was it? What was that time frame to where you were like, okay, this is working?
Okay, so that was I would say a good year transition, and I was saying my goddad let me work at his barbershop. But, I was young. I was excited. I missed from 19 to 24. I missed a lot. So I'm running around. I'm actually, where my goddad had his barbershop isn't the neighborhood that I'm from. So I used to always go back to the neighborhood that I was from and never really be at the shop at the time. So I left that shop. I didn't want to lose that relationship. So I left that shop, went to where they say is Norristown. There's a town called Norristown that I was cutting there for like 3-4 months, getting discouraged, man, not making as many the booth rent was like 200. I was probably making like 260 a week. I'm like, man, I'm working to give him the money. You know what I mean? So them thoughts come back in. I started thinking about, man, I'm about to just start selling drugs again. Like, I can't catch a break. But I didn't, man. Thank God. And I ended up going back to my hometown and cutting at what the shop is Blade's Edge. I was cutting at Blade's Edge with my brother Tony. Was a good friend of mine that kind of like, he had the shop was already established. Like, that was a shop to go to. But he didn't want to give me a chance because I was always that knucklehead at first. So he's like, man, I don't want this youngin' in here. You bringing that type of energy to the shop. But he actually gave me a try, man. And I just started building, walking at a time, client at a time, handing out business cards and really learning, just being a student. And that was my foundation when I was like, all right, I could really take care of my family with Barber. So it took about a year and a half time frame that really you start seeing like, all right.
Yeah. And what kept you motivated to keep trying instead of going backwards to what you knew and you know that what you did worked as far as bringing in money right away, instant money, whereas this is something you got to keep working at, keep plugging away to build. And so, you know, if you're in a situation where you're used to having, well, you know, at one point having money just rolling in, and now you're working hard, you're hustling hard, and you're not seeing the fruit right away. So what kept you motivated and staying out of that lifestyle to keep going forward?
Okay, so to go back a little bit, what kept me motivated is, man, I had the children out here. I didn't want to leave my kids, you know, out here anymore. And I knew what comes with the streets. And I knew that wasn't the lifestyle I wanted, man. Like, and I just made my mind up, man. The power of that decision, like, yo, I'm not going back. Like, I promise you, when y'all let these gates out, I'm not going to be that statistic. So I made my mind up a while ago, man. I just knew it. You know that them thoughts creep into your head too. It's like, man, dang, I'm not making no money, but you know, I made my mind up, and that's the power of one decision. When you really say enough's enough, and you get off of that fence, you know, a lot of us straddle that fence sometimes, man. But the minute you make your mind up, and you understand the power in that decision, and it's not even an option anymore. So, yeah.
So now going back is no longer an option. So moving forward, now you're starting to get established, and you're starting to, you know, really build your business. Did you hop from shop to shop, or were you pretty stable in one place, or what was that?
So it wasn't that I was just hopping from shop to shop. I was just moving from town to town, like parts of the area. I was moving, and I wasn't sitting still at the time. So mind you, within like 60 days of me being home, another lady, which is my fiance now, told me, I got that phone call, she's pregnant. So now I got 4 kids. I got 1 on the way. I'm 2 months home. I don't have nothing to my name but old letters, and I had a Mitsubishi Outlander that I bought, and some clippers, man. That's literally what I had. So I'm 2 months home, and this lady called me and told me she's pregnant. I'm like, damn. Excuse my language, but I'm like, wow.
You're good, man.
I'm like, wow. I'm like, wow. So, but I figured it out, man. And to be honest with you, where I'm at now, I've been with her for 7 years. We just got engaged. You know, she hasn't moved. She hasn't moved, but by my side since, you know, I met her. And, you know, man, I haven't missed a doctor's appointment. I just took my son to school this morning. And everything it all works out, but in the midst of it, sometimes it may sound, you know, your vision may get clouded. You know what I mean?
So, okay, you get the phone call.
Yeah, we gonna fast forward. We ain't gonna fast forward. I just threw a whole nother baby in there. I'm sorry.
You're good. You're good.
So yeah.
Well, I'm just thinking, like, man, you're already trying to just tough it out, and then you get that call.
Oh man.
You know, just like that feeling. I'm assuming just like a sinking feeling.
I can't catch a break.
Yeah.
Like, dang, I can't catch a break feeling. We all been there as men. It's like, dang, I can't catch a break, but it all makes sense. And I promise you, I've been like spiritually beat up, man, so low that my perspective and gratitude of life, man, it always works out. So a lot of people be like, yo, you've been through all this stuff. Why are you so positive? They're the ones that are the most positive, that been through the most. You get what I mean? That really been through life and understand the journey of life. Yeah. They're the ones that are the most positive. It's the ones that we feel entitled, or you know what I mean, and that hurts us. So once you change your perspective, you change everything. Like rest in peace. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. I
was saying rest in peace, Bob Proctor, but I studied him, and he talks about paradigms, like changing your paradigm. Once you change your mindset, once your mind is set on something, the rest happens. It follows.
Yeah. So you had already hit your bottom.
I hit my bottom already. Hard.
So then it was just not from there. It's just nothing but to go up. But the struggle to climb definitely weighed in on you. Now, at what point did you decide or to move out to Arizona? What caused that decision? Or what led up to that decision?
So it was about 1.5 years. I've been out here going on 1.5 years now. And so my lady that I had the baby with, she's actually a hairstylist as well. So she's a cosmetologist. Her name is Casey. She actually, we had the baby. She actually is a hairstylist. I'm a barber, and we just started to grow. So we started to grow, and from there, I was cutting hair. I knew what barbering cutting hair could get me. Mm-hmm. I seen it. I just wasn't getting it at the time, and It helped me to know that she had a hairstylist and she was making money. She was like, "Yo, just hang in there. Like it's going to all work out. Like it's going to all work out." And you start slowly but surely graduating and start building your clientele and your book. And man, I just haven't looked back from there, brother. So yeah.
So moving out to Arizona, you said that was about 1.5 years ago. Now,
okay, yeah,
right,
yeah.
You're coming out here. You're pretty much starting over, right?
Yes.
You don't have any clients out here.
Yes.
Well, why did you move to Arizona? What was the decision that you made? Like, I'm going to Arizona.
So I was on parole at the time, and when I moved to Arizona, it was just a calling, man. So you know how you see signs, like you get signs, you be like, yo, I kept seeing Arizona, and I was just, tired. I wanted more. Like I felt like wherever you're from, you can't really. I hit that cap of where I'm at, and it's like, yo, there's more out there, And I kept getting signs that the universe was saying Arizona. So I, got off of parole. 2 days later, I drove out here, man. A 36-hour ride. Me and my lady and my son and my daughter at the time, we all drove out here, and we've been here ever since.
Yeah.
And then like you said, I had to start all the way over, man. Yeah. So that was another
both of you
thing.
Did.
Both of us.
Both
did.
of you.
Yeah.
Being self-employed, you're both starting over.
Absolutely, man. Yeah. And that was discouraging again. So 10 years into the game, I'm 8 to 10 years into the game, and I have to start all over again, man. I'm like, dang. And then at the time I was moving to Arizona, I was still thinking it was like Philadelphia, where it's a lot of walk-ins. You got to build up. Philadelphia, there's a lot of foot traffic.
Foot traffic, right.
You know what I mean? So out here, I'm trying to find Philadelphia and Arizona, and I couldn't. So I was jumping from this shop, then I went to that shop, then I went to this shop, and I'm like, dang, I can't find home. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I had to realize that it wasn't Arizona, it was me. I had to slow down, and I had to learn how to build, man.
Yeah.
And so that was thank God. My lady, she works at the extension bar on Scottsdale Road in Scottsdale, and she grossed her first year. She made $140K. I'm like, wow. I'm like, dang. So it kind of
she's holding it down for you.
She held it down, man. Shout out to Casey. She held it down for me. It wasn't until about January where I started seeing the growth out here and like building my clientele. Man, I work at Ace of Fades. The brother Kevin gave me the opportunity right next to 16th and Thomas, so on 16th Street. So man, and he already came established. I love the environment. The barbers that I work with, I felt like this was the closest thing that I was going to get to, Philly. And I've been there ever since, man, and that's where I'm at now.
So what sort of tactics or strategies did you have to develop to rebuild here in Arizona? Because like you said, it's not foot traffic. Everything is spread out here, and there's a bunch of cities, but everybody's pretty much spread out. Not a whole lot of foot traffic, not people walking the streets, walking to work. None of that is really going on here. So what were some of the strategies and tactics that you used here in Arizona to build your clientele?
Okay, that's a great question, man. Thank you for that. So what I did was, this is a hack, y'all. So listen, man. What I did was I went to I'll go to on Instagram or social media, and I'll go downtown Phoenix, right? And then I'll go to the place. I'll click the recent videos. Pictures that people post downtown Phoenix, and I would add them. And then what I had in my notes was, hey, I'm new to the area. My name's Jakar. I'm trying to build my family, letting them know, this is my number, this is my Booksy or whatever app that you use. And I was doing that to 20 people a day. So I'll go downtown Phoenix. I'll do, Scottsdale. I'll do Tempe. And I was adding and following and sending them this little notes that I was saying I was new in the area, and here goes my information. And I was sending it to them. So 20 people a day. Everybody I see out there, whenever I'm at a store, I'll say, hey, I'm a new barber. I see somebody that needs a haircut. I'm, just extending my hand and introducing myself with who I am. So the key is networking, man.
Yeah. So that was for those of you all who are listening, that was some free game. We should charge you for it, but you're going to get it here free today. As long as you go ahead and hit that subscribe button,
Absolutely.
Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, because you're going to get a whole lot more of hacks and tricks and things like that to help you build your business right here on the podcast. So
absolutely.
This episode is brought to you by Leonetti's Barber Supply. We've been in the barber supply business since 1968, helping barbers deliver their best haircuts. We're located at 1633 East McDowell Road, Phoenix, Arizona, 85006. We've got everything you need. We've got your clippers, we've got your trimmers, we've got your disinfectants, everything you need to help you deliver your best haircut. Now let's get back to this episode. Thank you for that, because a lot of people, they try to figure out the social media game, and it's more than just putting up a post and making a video. You actually have to work it and using it as a networking tool.
Absolutely.
To build your business. So, man, that was a great gem. So once you started building, how long did it take to see fruit from doing those things? So was it immediate? Was it a couple months?
No, so it's a numbers game. So if I reach out to 20 people a day, one or two might get back to me. You know what I mean? But that's okay. I'm all right with that. So it's a numbers thing. So the more people you add and you let them know who you are, you're out here. My social media barely has barbering. It's more than barbering than just taking a headshot and, scrolling. And I see a lot of that. You wanna add your personality, because that's one thing that I want to stress on here is more so than a good cut. It's about building relationships. The relationship, you can get a good haircut anywhere, to be honest with you.
Right.
You're going to find a good haircut anywhere. So what is going to get your client to pass all the barbershops that they pass to come see you? Not the haircut, it's the relationship you build. And I stress that it's more of the relationship that you have with your clients that, that's where the longevity is. I hate that whole barber. I don't cut kids' hair. Kids are gonna grow up someday, and they're gonna be with you. They're gonna be with you all the way through high school. And it's beautiful to even see that transition.
To see them grow.
You know what I mean? It's like, man, I remember when you came in here, snotty nose. Now he's a D1 on his way, to be super successful. Like, I love to see them stories, man. Wow. So That's a blessing of being a barber.
Yeah. Yeah, and not only that, but you never know who they know, right?
Absolutely.
And they're gonna put you on, to a whole, that one person can bring you 10 more people.
Yes,
easily.
Every haircut is a walking billboard.
Yeah.
Every haircut that leaves out of that shop. And you have to understand, a lot of us kind of be like, we're self-employed. Yeah, that's cool, but you're under the umbrella of, I'm under the umbrella of Ace of Spades. Mm-hmm. So I have my own social media, I have my own thing going on, but you're under the Ace of Spades umbrella. They're not going to go in there. If somebody sees a messed up haircut that you didn't give your all to, they're not going to say, Car messed your hair up. They're going to be like, man, I'm with the Ace of Spades. They tore me up. You get what I mean?
Yeah,
so
I
a lot of us, we got to, as barbers, we got to get out of the whole me thing. You get what I mean? It's a team. Right. It's a team thing. Being a barber and setting the right environment in the barber shop is so essential, man.
And not only that, but you give a bad haircut, not only is the client going to talk about the shop, if it's a new person moving to the state, now it's a blanket statement of every barber in Arizona. I can't find a good barber in Arizona. And that was me when I first moved here from Cali. I had the same barber in Cali for 10 years. I moved here. I would go back to Cali every 2 weeks just to go get a haircut because I couldn't find anyone out here. Wow. This is 2004, 20 years ago almost, right? And living way out. There just wasn't anything. So I understand that, you put a statement on, one person. You're not just representing yourself. You're representing the shop. You're representing the whole barber industry when it comes to people who move here, especially if they get one or two. The first two are bad. That's a wrap.
Absolutely, man. And just being authentic and honest with them, though. Like, everybody, you don't have to be great to start. You got to start to be great. So you be honest with them and ask for help. Like, if there's a barber that's in your barber shop that may, specialize in that cut, don't be afraid to be like, hey, man, could you do this design? Or, man, I'm having a hard time with this bolt. Let me, could you help me out for a second? Like, we get so prideful as barbers, we kind of put on that hat, and it's like, man, the way I learned how to transition and become the barber that I am is by being a student first. Like, I used to sit underneath every barbershop in the every barber in the barbershop, and I would watch them, just watch how they cut hair. Every process is different. There's 99 ways to skin a cat, I guess you could say, but you want to find your own. You want to take that and find your own. I like to say, eat the meat and spit out the bones with everything, man. So definitely, man, just watch every barber in the shop, man. And I done seen barbers transition, man, amazingly just by watching the people that are around the shop. Like, that's why I say it's a team thing. You know what I mean? You're only as strong as your weakest link.
And when it goes to building those relationships with the client, do you have a recipe or a secret sauce that you do every time, or is it kind of, different with every client, or what is it you're looking to establish? How do you establish that relationship with the client? Every client is different, and that's the thing. That's why it's key to make sure you leave your problems at home, before you get into that door, because you're gonna have your tough clients, you're gonna have your emotional clients that want to put everything on you. You're gonna have your kids. It's a lot of energy that you got to deal with. But the key is, if I could pinpoint it to it, is just listening. Asking you, hey, Lamar, are you all right? You okay? How you feeling today, brother? No, really, how you feeling today? You cool? No, I ain't cool. You know what I mean? A lot of us are hide behind all right, I'm okay. Right.
And, the key is to really break through that guard and listen. You know what I mean? Yeah. So whatever that is. And it don't always got to be a problem. You just want to find that similarity. We all have a similarity. So what I do is, he could be in the Navy, right? But he likes fishing. I'll find, I'll be like, so what do you do in your downtime? You end up fishing. Yeah, I like fishing. You find that connection, and then you just feed off of that for it.
Right, because they'll continue to talk about the things they like.
They love when they exactly.
Yeah. So what's next for Drakkar? Where do you see yourself going? Let's say in the next 5 years.
The next 5 years, man, my key is to be a barber instructor. I want to open up my own school.
Wow.
And so this year, our goal, me and Casey, she does hair and extensions. She does the coloring. She does that sort of thing. I do the fades. So we're going to start having classes. You know what I mean? We're going to start, that's where we're going to build the momentum. But I want to get from behind the chair to start teaching people how to cut, man, and really emphasizing on the certain principles that you have to learn. Is more than just a haircut, man, as a barber. So, you know, I want to be able, it's more relationship, like we were saying. And, you know, just have an incubator of great barbers with great class and etiquette and respect and professionalism. So I want to give that's what I want to do in the next 5 years, man, is have my own school.
Nice. And how old are your children, if you don't mind me asking?
13, 12, 11, and 6.
Okay. And now, have any of them started picking up the trade or shown interest in?
Well, yes. My daughters, I have 2 daughters. My oldest daughters, yes, they love doing hair. So they're great at like braiding and that sort of thing. They braid their sister's hair. But my son's not so yet now. Yeah. My son, he comes to work with me usually every Saturday because we don't have a babysitter, it's just me and her out here. So, but he picks up the hair. You could tell he's a barber's a kid. His dad is a barber.
The shop kid.
Yeah, he comes, sweeps up. He leaves out with like $14. He saved up. He showed me his piggy bank today. The other day. He was up to like $60 just off of sweeping hair. I said, see, man, he can do that at 6. You know, you can do that. You just got to make your mind up, man. I love barbering, though. Barbering is a great career. Don't let anybody take that from us.
Yes, sir. So now, what would be your best advice for these new barbers that are coming out of school, because it's a different era now versus 10, 15 years ago? You know, it is more about being, well, some people strive to be on the celebrity status or be in those circles. And we're definitely seeing the benefits of being able to do that. So, you know, you may have some people who are getting into it that are really just about that. So I don't know if you had any experience with the celebrities or been in that realm, or what would your advice be to those who are aiming to go that direction?
Yeah, man. So I've been out here, like I said, a year and a half. I actually just cut Hannibal Buress, the comedian. Super Bowl weekend. I went down there to the comedy club downtown. I didn't cut a bunch of Philadelphia rappers, man. But to be honest with you, to speak on the celebrity barber thing, you know, celebrity barbers, it comes with a lot, man, to be honest with you. It comes with, you know, being on their time. It's stressful for when, you know, they feel entitled, or, you know, me personally, I like my every week clients over being a celebrity barber, because these are the ones that are paying my bills, that are helping me out and assisting me with, you know, my lifestyle. So I like the everyday barbers. I never really was that whole celebrity barber guy, but if I could give any advice while you're in school, is learn how to fade. Learn how to do a proper fade, because you can do all the makeup and pencil and all that later, man. That's not too hard. You want to learn how to do a fade. You want to learn how to, you know, a good clean ball fade, how to clean up a ball fade. You want to learn scissors. You want to learn shear work. Make sure you get your angles and that sort of thing. So learn how to actually cut hair instead of chasing a celebrity. You know what I mean? Learn how to do a fade, man. That's the key. Key is a good fade. That goes a long way.
So what you're saying and what I'm hearing is really hone in on the skill set of cutting hair, because that itself will make room for you and can take you further if you have the skill as the basic, and then everything else will come with it. Yeah.
And that's the beautiful thing, is like when I was in school, we didn't have all the guards, and we didn't, you know, now you can just downsize with the guards, and they kind of do the work. learn how to do a clipper over comb. Learn how to, have your masters in a comb and give a same fade that you can do with guards. You want to learn these type of things because these are the foundations of barbering. Clipper over comb, proper razor work. That's the type of foundation. All the other stuff, man, it's just accessories. It's like, you know what I mean? But you want to learn the foundation of barbering. Like, key is learn clipper over comb. When I was in school, they used to put a ball. Put a ball line in somebody's head and be like, all right, now get it out. And you don't have no guard. You just got your comb and your clipper.
Figure it out. Huh?
You got to figure it out. I used to be in there, a master, hot. I'm sweating, trying to chase this line, but it only got me better. Yeah. So, definitely learn the foundations of barbering.
So outside of barbering, when you turn the clippers off, leave the shop, what is it you like to do? What do you do outside of barbering?
Man, life, everyday life. I've been working out a lot lately. I've been doing like a lot of calisthenics, kettlebell work, like working out. I like to read. I'm an Aquarius, so like I like to feed my mind, man. When I get home, I'm a big book reader.
What book are you reading right now?
The Prosperous Coach.
Okay.
Shout out to the brother Bill. He's been mentoring me, and he kind of put me on to one of the clients, and I don't even cut his hair. He goes to Kevin, and I just kind of heard him talking. You just listening, man, and I took the initiative. I'm like, hey, man, I would love to, sit down with you, have a coffee with you. And he was like, man, I love that you're assertive and you want it and you're hungry. And he sees that in me. Brother Bill's network is Bill Pinky. You probably know him, but 70 years out here. You know what I mean? That's somebody that you want to be around and pick their brain. So the brother put me on to this book, Prosperous Coach. And, yeah, I'm trying to go from there, learn that. I'm going to read that. So I didn't open it yet. The last book I just read was, what was the last book I read? I want to say, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. My favorite book is The Superior Man. Yeah, but, The Art of Wars, The Four Agreements. I'm a big book guy. I'm like a book nerd, man.
So you got a library going on. Yeah, yours sound like a lot like mine or whatnot. So with the last question I got, we're going to wrap it up here. Okay. Just something just to lighten it up. What's the craziest thing you ever seen happen in the shop? Like something happened that you'll just never forget.
I'm in the shop and I'm cutting hair and this guy gets caught cheating. Well, he's in the shop with his mistress and his wife sees him in the shop through the barber window. That was a mess. Yeah. Come in there, she start fighting him. Oh, it was a mess, man. So, fellas, don't bring your mistress to the shop. Keep them at home, man, please. We do not need that on the barbers.
Great words of wisdom there.
Seriously, then the barber, you got to break up the fight. I'm telling you, the barbers, they got it bad, man. So make sure you take care of your barber. For sure.
All right. Well, man, I certainly appreciate you coming by, stopping in to rap with us for a good while and, dropping those gems for a whole lot of folks and, providing us with that value on not only, your story, but also the business of being a barber and the things that you're doing to continue to grow and prosper in this industry. So I congratulate you on that. And again, thank you for stopping by. And is there any last words of wisdom you want to leave for our viewers?
Man, listen, for all the barbers out there, wherever it is that you're at in your barber career, it's going to be ups, it's going to be downs. But don't get discouraged. Do not get discouraged and understand that you stick to the vision, man, every day. It's the little things that you do. It's about reaching out to 20, not 19 people on Instagram. It's about, shaking that person's hand that you wouldn't shake. Networking is key. Do not get discouraged. It'll all make sense later. And, yeah, man, just be a student first. Always be a student. Don't never get, cocky and feel like you're the best barber. Always learn from the next barber because that's how you get better. Yeah, that's it.
All right, and there you
Drop
have
a
it.
bomb.
And there you have it. Well, want to thank you all for tuning in to the Barber Block podcast, episode number 8 with my man Jakar Wright. You can find him at
Visionaire_car on all platforms. That's VISIONARE_KAR. Visionaire Car.
Awesome, man. Again, we're here to inspire, to share, to educate with real barbers, real people, real talk. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Peace.
Love.